Well folks, here we are, we're finally back out after lockdown. This is the first ride I've had on the bike since I think it was end of March, I think, when we went to CMC, met with some of the guys, and yeah, the bike's been parked up in the garage ever since, so it's been probably about 7-8 weeks, I think, something like that. So it's had a good clean yesterday. It even had cobwebs on it, would you believe? It was not good, is it? So yeah, so it give it a good dust off and a polish up yesterday. So going to head off this morning for a little pootle. Oh, what's going on here then? So this morning I've heard quite a lot about this Calimoto app, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I've popped a route in. That's about 100-mile round trip, a few twisties and various bits and bobs. It's only the free version, because obviously just want to give it a go for this time being and see what it's like. Gotta say, the layout of it looks good. Looks quite clear and concise, and good. Of course, we've got the cardo unit in, so all the instructions go straight into your headset, which is good. But I've got to tell you, it's nice to be out. Nice to be out. Weather looks a little bit changeable, shall we say, this morning. It was a bit windy earlier on. I wasn't sure whether it was thinking about chucking it down, but it seems to be all right. But if it does, what's the worst that can happen? Get a little bit wet. So of course, out on the Africa Twin this morning, and it's actually overdue a service. I've had it a year. I had it bought it April of last year, so it's actually due a service. And yeah, it was due a service last month. Just done just short of 4,000 miles on it now, which is obviously a lot less than it would have been the fact that it's been sat in the garage for 2 months. Which, obviously, the beautiful weather we've had here has been fantastic, lovely riding weather, and we've not been able to get out, have we? So hopefully the lockdown measures will be relaxed a little bit more, and we can get back to maybe some kind of normality. But whatever normality will that be, I do not know. because I think we're going to be in for this for the long haul. We had a few trips planned this year. June we were supposed to be doing the 3 pub challenge, which is the three peaks, if you like. It's like the 3 highest peaks, England, Scotland and Wales, and we were doing it in memory of Sean Sables, one of our wild bad friends that unfortunately passed away in January of this year. And so Sean decided that literally just before he passed away that he'd like to do the 3 pub challenge, and he'd mapped out a route, and we were all up for it. Thought, yeah, it looks good. And basically what we do is just visit the three pubs, England, Scotland and Wales. So it's a fair old jaunt, to be fair, but it's good. And I think we've got about 20 of us were due to do it. But we've sort of decided that the best thing to do would be to postpone it at this moment in time, maybe for a month. You know, so maybe the beginning of July, we'll see how it goes on. But of course, lockdown has only been relaxed a little bit in England at the moment, and England is sort of a little bit relaxed, but Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, of course, are still on full lockdown, so we can't cross the border. So we can't do much about that at this moment in time, unfortunately. So as I say, yeah, so we were due to do that at the beginning of June, and so what the plan now is, we'll postpone that for a month, and then end of July, Richie Vida was planning the Wild Bad Weekender at the end of July. Whether that will still go ahead or not is yet to be seen. Of course, mass gatherings, you know, and social distancing, well, we shall see. But it'd be good if it could, because it'd be great to get everybody back together again. And then at the end of August, we was also planning to head up to Scotland to a Harley Davidson event, but that has been cancelled. But however, we are hoping with Beans and Lee, we're hoping that we can still go, and we'll have a good bimble around Scotland, and that should be nice. And then October, the beginning of October, we've got the trip to Pecos with the Wild Bad team, which is still booked and planned at this moment in time, which will be great. Hopefully, if that can go ahead, we shall see. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. We've just got to wait and see until such times that this coronavirus buggers off and leaves us to it. Right, well, we'll see where this heads us out to. So currently, we've just gone through Ashley, I think it's going to take us a trip round towards like Congleton, Wilmslow, I think all around that sort of route, I think. So me and Sponge will see which way the wind blows and where it takes us. As I say, I've never used this Calimoto app before. Bruce, Teapot One, he's quite a big fan of it, seems to have used it, and I think Richie's used it as well. Seems pretty good. So, as I say, we'll see. Got a flask of coffee in the back, and stop off at some point and have a nice cup of coffee. So it goes. Weather looks alright actually. Doesn't look too bad over here. It looks better here than it did at home. I was planning this morning to go up to Chesterfield towards CMC and then go from there and have a sort of a ride around Peak District, Lady Bower, Snake Pass and round that way, but the weather forecast over that side, it was actually chucking it down over there. Just started to rain over there at around about 11 o'clock this morning. So decided to give that a miss. So I was due to meet you, Tim, but we'll rain check it for another day. So just heading into Moberley now. I'll tell you what, it's lovely to see everything's nice and green. It's kind of weird. You feel like you've sort of time warped in some ways. It's took the bike out when it was a little bit, weather was a little bit hit and miss. No leaves on the trees. Everything was still very autumn. And now look at it, green. It's lovely. So I'm sure there's quite a few of you all out this morning, today. Oh, here we go in here, left. Yeah, I suppose there's quite a few out today. And but the roads are pretty quiet, to be fair, which is good, and of course, how they should be. Of course we don't want to be going stupid, do we? You know, that's the other thing, isn't it? You know, it's the whole point that we've done all this massive lockdown for is to keep the pressure off the NHS and of course stop it being overthralled with people unnecessarily. I'll tell you what though, I have noticed more than anything recently, the amount of people running and cyclists has increased tenfold. It's amazing. Of course people are getting out to do the daily exercise, aren't they? So, which is probably quite a good thing really, I suppose, you know, it's like this, and I suppose we'll encounter bloody hundreds of them. this dude here doing a balancing act. Just put your feet down, mate, it's easier. Oh, and finally. Yes. It's quite funny, the voice on this Calimoto app. She sounds a bit robotized. In 0.7 mile, turn left. It's a bit staccato. Not like my other sat nav, the old Magellan, or Maureen as I call her. Maureen Magellan. She's taken me a few countries, she has. It's a little church. Church Inn pub. It is nice up round this way. Some lovely properties. The only thing it doesn't do, this Calimoto app, well, not that I can see at the moment. I'm sure you can fiddle about with its settings, but it's a bit bland. I suppose you don't need anything else really, just the direction in which you're travelling and where you're going to be turning next. But there's no, doesn't show you any other greenery, or you know, like an ordinary sat nav would show you side roads or lakes or points of interest. That's the word I'm looking for, points of interest. But I'm sure you can set it all up. Like I say, this is just a completely free version that I've got at the moment. So, bird in hand. Spent a few evenings in there consuming isopops. I bet if we counted how many cyclists we can pick up along this route, we'd be into a big number. The other morning I took my wife to work. She works at a hospital, and it's only a short drive from home to the hospital. It's only probably about 3 miles, 2-3 miles, that's all, something like that, from where we live. And we counted 14 people running, and that was at 7 o'clock in the morning. Which is unheard of, isn't it? Oh, I'll tell you what though, it does feel nice. Being out on the bike, it just, oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. It would be nice to be meeting some of the guys and sitting down and having a cup of tea and, oopsie daisy, I think we're going right here, are we? Yes, we are. See, wasn't paying attention there, was I? Oh, never been down here before. Well, if we end up off-road, we're on the right machine for it, aren't we? Yeah, as I was saying, it'd be nice to meet up with some of the guys, have a cup of tea and a nice cake, nice elephant's foot, or a nice cream chocolatey Eclair, or it'd be nice, something like that, or Victoria sponge, strawberries on. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Yes, but we just have to wait. That time will come. It's amazing, isn't it, how long you can live somewhere, as I've lived around here all my life, and you still find places that you've never been to before right on your doorstep. It's bizarre. I wonder what they're all about. I think the other good thing you can do with this app as well is you can set it to as twisty as you like as well. So I think the red routes that are bordered with, or is it an orange route bordered with a red line, or a red line bordered with an orange line, one of the two, they show you like the extra really twisty bits. Yeah. What the hell does that mean? Oh, I see. Oh, that something smells nice here. Smells like. That's now Alderley Edge, I think. Yes, it is, yeah. Alderley Edge town. Oh, I've never been that way before. Nice. So this is, this is now going to take us over Alderley Edge to where the wizards live, isn't it? Allegedly. We used to come up here on Halloween, and there's a rock that you can stand on the end of, and people used to go up there on Halloween and set fireworks off, and well, because it's supposed to be really haunted, and it was great. Used to have some great fun, but they've stopped it now. I don't think you can do it anymore. And quite interestingly as well, there are some massive copper mines here, which I never knew were here at Alderley Edge. I'll show you when we get near to it. And you can actually book a trip to go underneath, and they'll take you down. It's all run by volunteers, and it's really interesting. In fact, there's a YouTube channel called Martin Zero that I watch. Really interesting if you like that sort of thing. Does all kinds of, like, lots of canals and abandoned buildings, underground tunnels. It's really interesting stuff, actually. And he came here and they took him down, and it's massive, absolutely incredible. I think there's about 3 or maybe 4 major tunnels that run down to it. And that cliff that I'm telling you about, where we used to sit at Halloween, it comes out. There's like a little ginnel that comes out from there, and it's where all the ore used to come out from. But it's really interesting. You should go and check it out if you like that sort of thing. Martin Zero, that's his name, and yeah, and he's a proper Manchester lad as well. So this is over Alderley that we're in now, and we're going to head towards Macclesfield from here, I would imagine. This is the road that takes you to Macclesfield. Yeah. Oh, just stop and have a chat, you know. Yeah, you know, just yes, yeah. Why not, you know. Bit of road resurfacing going on. Well, you don't see that very often either, do you? Looks like a nice job they're doing, actually, to be fair. Let's give it a... Oh, yeah, alright, quite nice and smooth. But only for 100 yards, and then you're back onto the crap again. And we're into the borough of Macclesfield now. So we'll cross a few county lines on this little jaunt. Halfords is still open. A fair old queue to get in. I never understand that really, because Halfords in its current format. Let me go in right here. Yeah, Halfords in its current format. I mean, apart from if you want to buy something to make your car smell nice or give it a wash, there's not much else to do, is there really? I mean, I know they do like sort of general consumable items for your car, like bulbs and wiper blades and oil and bits and bobs, but it's nothing like years ago when you could go and buy, you know, a head gasket set for your car and spend the Saturday and Sunday rebuilding it, you know. I suppose they do everything like that if you want to order it, but all the kind of knowledge has gone, hasn't it, these days, from things like that. You know, you go in to ask anybody a technical question about something these days, and nobody's got a Scooby-Doo, have they? And there's no specialist places really anymore. But then again, of course, cars are completely different now than what they used to be. It's just like laptops on wheels, aren't they? And of course a hell of a lot more reliable than they used to be. Oh, is this a Harley rider there? I think so. Yes, it is. Something similar. Maybe not. Lee will be shouting at me now. No, it wasn't a Harley. It was a... Yeah, and I mean, I suppose that's the same with it's the same with bikes, isn't it, as well? I mean, like, this is a 2019 Africa Twin. You know, get serviced once a year. Well, it should be serviced once a year. It will be getting serviced soon. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to go wrong with them, is there, as such? I think bikes in general over the years have been more reliable anyway. You know, because of course there's less to go wrong with them, isn't there? You know, electrics and things like that. There's not the same problems that you're going to have with a... Hello, where was he going? Oh, I see. Social distancing, fair enough. It's not the same problems to go wrong with it as a car as such, isn't there? But I remember back in the day. I mean, I started driving in 1985, 86, and if you had a car back then that had done sort of 40,000 miles, you had to take it apart. You had to take the engine apart and give it a good decoke and strip your carburetors down, and you wouldn't touch anything that had done over sort of 50 or 60,000 miles because it was pretty much at the end of its life. But of course now you'd look at a car and you go, oh, it's only done 60,000, it's about running. And that's the other thing you used to do as well. You used to have to run them in, didn't you? You know, if you'd had an engine rebuild, you'd have to run them in for about 500 or 1,000 miles to get all the tolerances and then take it back and have everything re-torqued up. I mean, I know we still do running machines now, but you only need to do what, about 700 miles, take it in, quick check over, change the oil and filter, that's it, job done. Back then it had been heads off, well, not heads off, it would have been top off, valves checked, everything re-torqued. Yeah, it's just a bit different now. There you go. Right, well, let's see where this is now. This is taking us out into the Nationals. No! Strange tree. Sort of grown on one side only. That's one of the things I love about Wales. When you go to Wales, the trees are just totally different somehow. They're very, like they've just been weathered differently and look older somehow. Have you ever noticed that? Even the dead trees still have got some kind of character about them and a little bit of life. I must admit though, it's very green here, very green. Oh, I wonder when the pubs will open again. I do love the pub. You can't beat getting down the pub on a nice sunny day, sitting in the back garden, in the beer garden, and having a nice cold pint of your favourite brew with your fellow friends, talking complete crap. Because that's usually the way it goes, isn't it? Let's be honest. Starts off all about, oh yes, this is a lovely day, I've had a great day at work, and this week we've blah 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 blah, and it's been this, that and the other. And by the end of the night, by about last orders, you're like, shit. Okay, please. Completely lose your brain cells. But I do miss the pub. Well, the clouds look a little bit more ominous over here, don't they? They look a little bit more subject to possible rain. It did say on the weather this morning though, not a chance of rain, but it's what we've all expected though, isn't it? Beautiful sunshine, glorious, you know. I'm sure we've all seen the the funny apps that have come through with beautiful weather, lockdown, can't go anywhere. Lockdown relaxed, dull, miserable, raining. You know, can't write it, can you? I don't know where I am now. Look at that. I'll tell you the other thing I've noticed as well, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. The amount of birds that seem to have come into the garden. The other day, turn left here. Oh. The other day, I was at my father-in-law's. Bit of gravel on the road here. Where the hell's this taking us? National speed limit down here. I mean, you'd be mad, wouldn't you? Yeah, I was at the father-in-law's the other day, and there was an eagle or a hawk or something landed in the conifer tree, and I'm sure he was after some dinner. You know, the old pigeons. Beautiful to see. I've never ever seen that before in a garden ever. You know, you see them in the fields, don't you? You know, usually hovering above a field. You know, look, checking out some prey, either a mouse or something like that. But geez, I mean, it was just incredible to see. Yeah. God, there's a lot of gravel and crap down here. Oh, hello. Where are we going here? Strange. Wonder if actually it's a lumber yard, isn't it? Smells lovely. Let's just have a little stop here for a minute. Perhaps a little cup of coffee. Lovely and quiet. Right, little pit stop. Coffee, crisps, bit of chocolate. Let's carry on this route, eh? Right, let's go through these lights because they're not working. We'll head on this route. See where it takes us. Wonder how many people sit at those traffic lights there and go, oh, how long do they wait until they go? Right, here we go then. Coffeeed up, bit of chocky, packet of crisps, bit refreshed. We'll see where we go. Unfortunately, the battery on this is going to die soon, and the spare battery I've got in my pocket, it's not been charged either, so that's a bit of a isn't it? Never mind. Batteries on these things are rubbish. The drifts are great. They last for 5 hours, something like that. These little GoPro things, you're dead loss. Good cameras, but batteries are rubbish. Ooh, I'm feeling quite warm now. 17 degrees, 16 degrees. bit fresh up around these parts. Farmer Giles been spreading the milk. I'm just having a look there as when I stopped for a coffee. This app as well, once you finish your route, it'll give you a synopsis of where you've been, and that's quite good, isn't it? Get over there. Tell you what, that's a good view, that is. Yeah. See, right over there, great clear view there today. Well, it was a cracking view there, wasn't it? I'll have to Google that, see where that looks over. I must imagine. Because it's towards Congleton, so it's going to be, I suppose it's going to be the Pennines, isn't it, I suppose. Now, there appears to be a zebra in this field. He looks a bit stiff. Yeah. And a bloody monkey, you know, look. Oh, and panda bears. What the hell? You never know what you're going to see, do you? Oh, it does give you more graphics when you're in more of a built-up area. Little blocks of houses. Yeah. Oh, it's turning to a lovely day here. Nice. Sun shining. $14 degrees. Nice. And we are definitely going to need to get some fuel, if not before the end of the ride, but because we'll be on very low fuel. Are you still recording? Yes, you are, aren't you? Quite surprising actually, the batteries on those, even though it's giving you like a warning that they're showing that they're really low, they keep going for quite a bit longer after that. But I usually just let them go until they completely go flat. But then you've got to remember to recharge them. Cause I didn't, did I? No, I forgot. Well, we'll settle in for a little bit now and we'll see where we go. This is Asbury, I believe, now. Towards Congleton. Nice bit of countryside. Yeah, I think we'll just settle in for a little bit. See how we're going. Now we've got 64 miles remaining. Crikey, is that all we've done? It's just a nice little bimble. A nice little bimble ride. Yes, it is Asbury. There we are. The county of Cheshire. Or Cheshire, depending how you want to say it. That's a nice little house, isn't it? Lovely little place, though. Ooh, look at that. That's a nice church, isn't it? Fair size too. Left. Oh yes, I know this road, the A34. It's a clever little app though, I've got to give you that. It's very good. I think especially if you're out on your own and you know you're not sure where you want to go, or you might know your favourite route, or you might have a favourite place that you like to ride to. As a lot of us do, we have our Sunday morning meet up at Grindleford is, I mean, that's just basically brought me back out onto the same road, hasn't it? Oh, weird. Oh, wait, oh, what's this here? It's like an old Austin of some sorts, is it? What's that then? Yeah, it is. It's an old something. Yeah, so as I was saying before, so yeah, if you've got like a favourite place that you like to go to, your favourite route, you might not be able to do that at the moment, you know, if it's a cafe or something like that, you know, it's one of those. But it's great to go out to like new places as well though, isn't it, you know, and places you don't know where you're going. Great. I just love going out on the bike and sort of getting lost, because you're never really lost, are you, as such? You get to a point where you can find where you're going. Yeah, you can get to a point where if you think you're lost, you can get to a point, you've got your phone on you, or you know, signs, you can always find your way back home, can't you? But it's great. I love going to places where I've never done on these roads before. Because if you're in a car, you'd be going from A to B, wouldn't you? Generally, you'd be going to, you know, a destination, and you'd probably go by the quickest route. Whereas this is probably taking us, you know, it's taken us all over the shop. I love it. It's great. So that's Sandbach and Northwich. Well, I'm not quite sure whereabouts this is. I would think Butterton Lane. Where's this going towards now? So what's that called? Winbury? What's it called? Winbury. No, don't know. Well, looks like Officer Dibble up front. Ah. Should we go for a run, dear? Yes. Should we take the baby? Yes, why not? I'll push it. And that was Why Budbury, whatever it is called. So this is Crewe and Nantwich, I think. That we're in the borough of. So we're now going to head on towards the A51, which is towards Chester and Wrexham. Now we've got to be careful. That we don't end up touching into the boundaries of old Wales. So the fuel lights come on, so we do need to get some fuel fairly soon, but it's just saying that my range is at 62 miles, so we should have a fair bit in there. We've got 43 miles of this round trip to go, so but I guess if we find a fuel station, yeah, we'll put some go-go juice in the old tank. And I think what we might do is just hit nearest petrol station on this Calimoto app and see if it will take us to a petrol station. But to be honest, so because we missed that turn right a little bit earlier on, it's now rerouted us on these little back roads, I would imagine, to pick up this road. Yeah, it has done. That's quite clever, that, isn't it? Wetton Hall. The Little Man. I wonder how many pubs will survive this pandemic. It's a tough game anyway, isn't it? You know, it's such small margins that these pubs run on anyway, and the majority of the profit comes from the food that they sell. You know, there's not really much in the wet side of it, and the selling the beers and drinks and stuff. Margins are so tight. I wonder how many will come out of it the other side. I suppose the ones that are owned by the breweries and things like that will be okay, but these independent ones, phew, tough. It's tough anyway for them, isn't it, at the minute, but even more so now. So many businesses are gonna really struggle. These ambulance guys, I tell you what, they've done a fantastic job, haven't they, during this pandemic. It's just carrying on as is, and incredible really. And of course all the NHS staff and care workers across all sectors, mental health. It's, they've all done an amazing job. See, it's confusing that, because that gave me a turn right indication there to turn right, but it's just kind of following the road like that. You see, she's telling me to turn left, but I mean, where else are you going to go? Into the field? high up. What's going on here? Looks like a dead tree, doesn't it? Eaten. Didn't realise we'd come this far. I don't think it's the Eaton that we recognise as being down south. Home of Eaton Mess, or whatever it is. Alright, let's see where we're heading towards now. So we want to go right turn shortly. Right, I am going to find a lay-by when I can and pop in nearest petrol station. Because we are now on Flashing Bar. So a country lane or a thingy, yeah, that'll do. Let's go here. Right, let's just have a quick look. Let's have a quick look and see if it'll give us some information. Next stop, nearest petrol station. Do you want to set the next possible petrol station as your next via point? Yes, please. See, that is clever. 4 miles to the next petrol station. That's very clever. Yes, I like that. I wonder who comes up with these names for these roads and stuff. What should we call it? I know. Cheese Hill Lane. Weird. Under the trees here, aren't we? We'll see, although it was 13 litres, 14 litres. That should, let's have a look. That's pretty full now. 15 litres. I'll do it. Oh yeah. Number 2. Yeah. 1677. Cheers. Right. Full tank of fuel. Let's carry on. So a nice little route that's actually not very far from home now, but this route that it's taking me on now is another 23 miles it's saying. So from where we just filled up from fuel, that's the A556 Manchester Road, it's probably only about I don't know, 10 minute ride, perhaps, if that. So yeah, so it's sticking about another half an hour ride on, which is pretty good, really, you know. So we'll see where this takes us to. Going straight across here. And just see, just quite interesting to see how it'll join it up, you know, the complete route. Or the complete route, if you're an American. What a great route that was. They have some funny abbreviations for words, don't they, the Americans? Route. Like, we say aluminium, they say aluminum. They either put letters into words that don't exist, or take letters out that do. I went on a great route to pick up some aluminum. Turn left and then turn left. Okay. Let's see where this goes. And left. And then left. And then right. That little property there, and that lovely, that thatched roofs, lots of spiders. And I suppose the other one positive of lockdown has been that the price of fuel, of course, is at a ridiculously low price. I went past our local Asda supermarket the other day, and petrol was at 99.7, which is the lowest I've seen for a long time. And I think diesel was at about 106, I think it was 0.7 or something like that. Obviously you pay a little bit more for the premium brands, Shell and BP, etc. And I think the Shell that I just been at was at about 106, something like that. So, I mean, obviously it's going to go up as the demand increases, and the price of oil goes up by the $1 a barrel. I was actually reading somewhere during lockdown that there came a point where the refineries were actually paying to take the fuel away because they couldn't store it. They didn't have enough storage facilities to take all of the fuel. So the price of fuel, or the price of oil, dropped to a point where it was actually going backwards. Which is quite incredible, isn't it? Senna Lane. Let's just edge forward a little bit here, bit of a blind one. We went past this earlier on, didn't we? So yes, so we have done a full circle. I recognise those hay bales and the Union Jack on that house. So yeah, where are we going here? Yeah. Such a lag. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed this nice little bimble on the first ride after lockdown. It's been a nice little circuit route, that. Definitely recommend this little app, it's good. Calimoto. I'll stick a link below. You can check it out if you've not already. Probably already got it, but it's worth a look at. Definitely a free version. I don't really know what you'd get extra on the paid version, but anyway. So this is Tatton Park to the right, and pretty much back on the doorstep of home. Well folks, if you're still with me now after you must have watched the whole video, so thank you very, very much indeed. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and hopefully we'll get back to some sort of normality again, and we can get out on the bikes and perhaps meet up with some of the other guys, and look forward to doing some more rides. Until then, stay safe, enjoy yourselves, don't take unnecessary risks, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks a lot guys, take care.